So here's the Cardinal, everybody. This is take 2 because I accidentally just turned off my my record. So anyway, snow day here, crappy weather, northern Arkansas. If you're following the storm that's going on, the system is coming right through southern Missouri, northern Arkansas, Arkansas, Louisiana, Texas, all that type of stuff. So anyway, crappy day. I'm off work. I ended up staying home because we got a whole bunch of ice and sleet and just anyway. So thought I'd get on here. Just got home from taking care of the horses with my son and this garbage. And so anyway, I'm gonna finish this up. I know the time lapse wasn't good. I obviously don't have the stuff that I need to do a time lapse, so I'll have to figure that out. I did download an app, but I got to slow down the actual recording of the time lapse. So anyway, I'm gonna do this one on a rock. I'd try and change it up. I enjoy doing tree stumps and stuff like that. But anyway, here's these guys that I'm doing. I showed these before, but here in Arkansas, we know rocks. We got a lot of rocks. We grow rocks. We grow rocks better than we grow trees or grass. And so, anyway, these are those pawn pieces I was working on. I put these guys standing on rocks. I don't know that I was supposed to, because it didn't show it, but I did it anyway. Hopefully the club will be happy. If not, I guess I'll have 4 more to redo. So anyway, Cardinal, my version. I don't know if you could tell in the slow-mo, but when I get my piece of wood, I find the centers, and then I run center lines, down everything, so I have it just to kind of, I don't know, I don't always use them, but it's really helpful, especially on the last bird, which I don't have them here. If you're going to turn his head, like to say this corner, I get my X, and then once I find my center, I go, side to side this way, so I know where his beak needs to be, and then I know where the rest of his body needs to be. And so that's nothing, nothing abnormal for anything that you ever do with carving. If you've ever followed Bart Wilson, the way he does it, he does that same way. So he gets his divisions, for the face, and so he can show that type of stuff here, So same type of thing. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and do a little carving. I don't know how long this will be. I don't want to make it super long. I am going to put it on my YouTube channel. But I don't want it to be, like I said, I don't want it to be super long. I'm probably going to figure out how to do some bases. I'm not a real woodworker by any means. I don't have a lot of woodworking tools. Mostly everything I have is, these hand tools for carving stuff. So I don't do a lot of that, but I'll probably trim this down a little bit, maybe cut it off here, maybe here or something. Have it on a little basswood base. I don't know, I may just cut it off here and just get I've got some walnut and some cherry out in the garage that we salvaged from where I work. We cut down some trees. And so anyway, that's kind of where we're at. I'm just kind of trying to even up that face a little bit. So last time I screwed up the eyes, and I ended up having to thin this down because I used my eye punch to put the eyes in, and I got the eyes off because a lot of times I don't use a pencil for anything, so I didn't make a mark to show. And anyway, so one eye was off. I ended up having to carve it out so I could move on. But anyway, this is kind of where I'm going with it. This apparently I've got a grain change right there. I didn't realize. But I'll come in here and round this. I don't know if you guys could see it in the last video, in that time lapse when I roughed this thing out, but I used like a number 8 to help round this, help round this body and get some of the roundness. This is something I've learned from. I hope the audio, by the way, is better. I'm just not thinking that. I put my earbuds in. But anyway, this is something I learned when I took a class with Roger Stegall. And he showed me how to, round arms and everything. But a lot of times I get it round and then I come back and I try to knock the high spots off to get, you know, not have so many gouge marks. I really like gouge marks. I really like all the facets that it creates when I carve. That's the reason why I hand carve the way I do. I don't sand anything. It's all done with gouging knives. I don't like sandpaper. There's some guys out there that do some beautiful work with sandpaper. I don't prefer it. That's just kind of my style. So, you know, I'm going to come in here and take some of this out to kind of round the bottom of this guy over. I don't want to take too much away. Now, this is something I will say that I have learned. Some of it I learned from Roger Stegall's class when I took it. That's really about the only, other than I did take a Dwayne Gosnell online, but, and it was a good class, don't get me wrong. I learn better when I can do it hands-on. So to actually be there where I can look at something that's somebody's doing and say, hey man, why did we do it this way? Or, you know, whatever the case may be, I do way better that way. So anyway, regardless of that, I have learned a few things from taking those classes. One of those things, by the way, I think I said it on the time lapse, you probably can't hear it though, is light hands. You'd be amazed what just a little sliver like that little sliver of wood can make the face do. So when it comes to things like noses, you know, you carve in a nose and you do like the line down like this, you know, the laugh line, smile line. When you come back, don't take away from the nose. Come back over and take away from a little bit of that cheek if you want to open that up, you know, on the nose, like this guy that I carved. So if, right in here, if you're looking, I don't take away from the nose. I come back and you can see I scooped out away from the cheek right there. And then I just curved, rounded the nose. And again, this was one that I did a quick video on, and did that face. This one I did the video, this one I did after. I don't know, I don't know how long this video was, I don't even remember. But I uploaded it, and I may have done that as on live, I can't remember, but regardless, I did this one a few minutes later, off camera, and I should probably go back and do one. This is based off of Cartoon to Carving, Richard Holden's. If you haven't seen it, I love Richard's work. He's a cartoonist, draws a lot, just amazing carver, amazing artist. Love his work. Anyway, let's get back to what I got on here for. Again, I'm still kind of in a roughing stage, and I probably won't get a lot done in this video because I've been talking. But I just kind of want to see you guys to see my process, which is similar to most, because most of the stuff I've learned has been from Dwayne Gosnell, Doug Linker, guys that I've been watching online for a while. Richard doesn't do a whole lot of carving stuff online. As far as, you know, showing a lot, he does do some painting. I learned a ton from him on how to paint. You need to go check him out if you're having I had a hard time painting, didn't like the way it looked. Richard really helped me with that. So anyway, you know, as you can see, this one's just a little bit higher over here. So I'll try and come in and correct that. I set it on the time lapse, probably. I'm trying to think of where I set it. You know, that I don't always try to make everything perfect, because a bird sitting on whatever is not always going to be perfect. You know what I'm saying? So I do the best I can, but I don't get crazy. I don't think anything is, anything's ever going to be perfect if you look at it, you know, like that little foobar right there. With the wood, but I still got some wood I can take off, because from there up I kind of want kind of want to make that back a little flatter. My last Cardinal was kind of chubby and fat. I like chubby fat Cardinals. That's my, you know, I like little fat birds. I'm kind of a chubby guy myself, so I like my birds to be healthy. But I noticed I did have, you know, last time you'll see, I had my iPad sitting back. I guess you can't see it the way I've got the camera adjusted, but right back here is a wall. And I had my iPad sitting back there so I could kind of have an idea of remembering what a Cardinal looked like. I mean, I have an idea in my head, but I wanted it to, you know, I wanted to be for sure I could just reference it. So that's what I did last time. Not really doing that this time. I don't remember who it was. Somebody, maybe been Doug Linker, I don't know, was talking about, you know, always look at your carvings, turn them, look at them from the top. You know, what do they look like from the top in all the different directions. I'm not sure this bird's turning out as good as I hoped it would. For me, sometimes it takes a couple. Sometimes it takes many. Anyway, regardless, this is kind of where we're at. This is where I'm just trying to get that plane of the beak now to be the same, which, like I said, I'm horrible at this. This is probably why I'm not a flat plane carver. Because I like that right there. Flat plane carvers, man, your stuff's got to be right. So see, I actually kind of like the way that's turning out, because then I'll probably put the beak like, you know, right here. And then that'll give me a little spot for my eyes, and I can always shave that up just a hair. But then that gives me a spot for my beak. I can run my tool around. And then, like I said, I don't usually draw a lot. I made this bird a little taller. I'm trying to make him, you know, thin him out a little bit more like the pictures of the Cardinals that I was seeing. I watch a lot of carving in general, chainsaw carving, etc. And a lot of those guys that chainsaw carve have these little short, fat, stubby, and I like those. I like those. I think they look cool. So, you know, even if we do, when we come around here and, you know, kind of go like this, and we try to keep our center line, so we can bring our wings, you know, like so. I'm off the camera, sorry. So here's my center line. You know, even if we try to match and I try to go like with my fingernail, fingernail on the line and go to like right here, then I flip it around and I go like fingernail on the line, and I do the old Bart Wilson calibrated. Calibrators are a little bit off, it looks like, maybe, so I might come in here and try to correct that a little, you know, but you know, then you're going to kind of come in here and bring these down. They kind of come down like this and try to make them, you know, but then they're going to kind of have a little bit in here, you know, like this, maybe. I don't know. I don't get crazy with it. I try to get it even. It never is. This side I always screw up. That side, the side I always, whatever reason, I always get right the first time anyway on the line. So I just don't get nuts. I don't worry about a lot of things. This is fun for me. It's supposed to be. So you're never gonna see me not even on my competition pieces. I'm not a competitive person. My kids will tell you I'm like the least competitive person. It's probably why I didn't make a good bass fisherman. Love to fish. I'm just not a good bass fisherman. That may be why. I don't know. But I don't fish competition bass anymore because it's just not. People I fish with are too competitive, and I'm just not. And then, hell, if we catch fish, we catch fish, and if we don't, well, I just donated my money to somebody who could, so. And on something like this, I don't get too crazy with finishing it up too much, because that's a part that can break if you get it too pointy. So that'll be one of the last things that I finish carving on that bird, will be this tip. I'll just kind of finish it off at the end, you know, right there at the end. So I'm at 16.5 minutes. I should probably wrap this up, even though I didn't get to carve a lot. I just need to shut up and carve. But once you get the idea of where I'm going now, it's starting to come out. The bird's starting to come out of it pretty good. His face looks pretty good now. It's probably the best face. I like this face. It actually kind of looks like a bird face. So anyway, I'm going to end this at 17, and hope you guys enjoy. I'll do better. Shut the hell up, and just carve next time, guys. If you're following, thank you. If you haven't and you'd like to learn a little bit, you know, go ahead, subscribe. Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.